everybody, this is Shri and welcome back to my channel Vedic Living. Today I want to talk to you about the Nakshatra Magha. It's the next one in our Nakshatra series and we are going to go into the depths of this particular Nakshatra. This is actually a very prosperous Nakshatra and has a very rich mythology and history behind it. So we are going to go very much into details for this Nakshatra. So before I go forward, I do want to let you know about my website, www.vedic-living.com. Please do sign up for the free newsletter that I have on my website. And with that being said, we are going to talk about Magha Nakshatra. Magha Nakshatra sits in the zodiac sign of Leo. It starts the zodiac sign of Leo. So it's at 0 degrees of Leo till 13 degrees and 20 minutes of Leo. And the symbology of this nakshatra is the throne, which is very telling because this nakshatra is considered the most important nakshatra when it comes to leadership qualities. Rulers, leaders, kings, nobility, and, of course, it's associated with a strong ego because, when you're at that level, you probably have a strong ego. But it does have a very royal kind of side to it. It's not about being a bully, it's about being a leader by inspiring the people. So that's difference between Aries and Leo, okay? Now, there is a quest for power with this particular nakshatra. People want to be powerful, they want to have wealth, lots of wealth, and they will. But if you have a strong Magha nakshatra in your chart, you'll be very wealthy. And they are very attached to their ancestry. They want to know where they came from. A lot of people don't think about that, but Magha Nakshatra is very attached to the family name, to their ancestry, and they're constantly trying to make their family better. So if there's something that happened in the past, they want to do better now, and they want to redeem their family name. It's all about that. And they are always seeking their origin, their roots. Where do they come from? When we get to Mula Nakshatra, I'll talk about this a little bit more, but the flavor of Magha versus Mula is very different. Mula is more about going to the roots in order to find answers. Magha Nakshatra is going to the roots to find your origin. That's the difference. Now, the deity for Magha Nakshatra is the Pitrus. And that's basically our ancestors. Having difficult planets in Magha Nakshatra in your chart, like malefic planets there, can cause what we call Pitradosha, which means there can be ancestral curse that is going forward in all the generations that need to be lifted. And when I talk about the mythology of this nakshatra, you will understand this a little bit further. Now, the fixed star that sits in this nakshatra is called Regulus. It's about 5 degrees of Leo. Regulus, the fixed star Regulus, is the heart of the lion. So again, it shows courage and bravery and nobility and being a king and ruling and obsessed with worldly power at some level, very powerful, very high in society. On the negative side, it can give rise to a little bit of snobbish attitude, because when you're at that level, you can sometimes be a little too obsessed with yourself. So that's something to remember. Now, this particular nakshatra also brings a sense of loneliness sometimes, because people who climb to that level in society, they don't have a lot of friends. They're sometimes a little lonely on the top, and that can be seen with the fact that this nakshatra is ruled by Ketu. It does bring that sense of, loss, or just feeling like you have this vacuum in your life that you want to fill. But on the other hand, Ketu rules spirituality. And the fact that Ketu rules this nakshatra Magha, it deals with the past again. So think about ancestors, past, family origin. It's all coming together now, right? Now, coming to the mythology, I know this is your favorite part, the mythology of the nakshatra Magha. So, as the scriptures indicate, there was a king, his name was Bhagiratha. Now, Bhagiratha was from the Ishwaku dynasty. That's what, the scriptures say. And what happened was many, many thousands of years before he was born, his ancestors angered a sage, and the sage was Kapila. Now, because the sage was angered by these ancestors of Bhagirath, he cursed them and reduced them to ashes. They caught fire and they all died, right? They were reduced to ashes. So it's said that there were 60,000 ancestors who had to, kind of face this fate because they somehow insulted the sage and he cursed them to die, and they burned to ashes. Now, because of this curse and the unnatural way in which they died, the family incurred a curse upon itself. So generation after generation, there were problems in this lineage. Each king that came by and ruled, somehow or the other, there was this curse on them, why they either died early, or their kids didn't do well, or there was some kind of pitru dosha or ancestral curse was there in this family. Now, when Bhagiratha was born, he was this just, noble king. And he, again, going back to the concept of Magha Nakshatra, very interested in his ancestry. So he did the research and he found out about this curse on his ancestors. And he said, you know what, I'm going to put an end to this because I want to redeem the family name. I want to release the souls of my ancestors and I want to give them moksha. I want them to be free from this bondage of curse that's been placed on them because they haven't been able to be freed as souls. So, that's the understanding of the Magha Nakshatra. They want to clean the family name and they are interested in their origins and their ancestors. So Bhagiratha takes this upon himself and he does this very powerful and difficult penance to appease the gods. And at the successful completion of his penance, he was told that the only way to give moksha to his 60,000 ancestors was to bring goddess Ganga, who is the Ganges river, to bring Ganga from the heavens to the earth. So that, because it's considered that the Ganges water or the Ganga water is the most pure you can find anywhere in the universe. And when her water flows over the ashes or the place where his ancestors incurred this terrible fate, when her water touches those ashes or goes over that place, they will all be redeemed. They'll all attain moksha and be released from this dreadful curse that was placed on them. So he starts this journey to try and get Ganga on the planet Earth. So as the story goes, she said yes to him. She said, yes, I will come to planet Earth, but there's no way that the Earth can sustain the strength of, my fall from the heaven, right? Because the current, the water was so powerful. The moment it hits the Earth, the Earth's going to crack into two. So it was so powerful, strong. So she said, you have to find some way to contain my powerful fall so that I can then flow on the earth. So then he starts doing penance to appease Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva was very happy with his penance. And he says, okay, I will contain Ganga or the Ganges in my locks, in my hair, and then she can slowly fall on the earth. So that's the story behind how Lord Shiva has the Ganga coming out of the locks, his matted locks, and how he kind of held her there, and then she slowly falls to the earth, trickles to the earth. The earth is able to then sustain that river. So Bhagirath was successful in bringing Ganga to planet Earth, and this is why one of the names that Ganga is given, the river Ganges or Ganga is given, is Bhagirathi, because she is considered to be, brought to the earth by King Bhagirath. So you see the symbology of the story, right? You can see the interest in the person's ancestry, the interest in redeeming the family name. the interest in wanting to be a just and powerful king, and wanting to, understand the origin of where we come from. So this is a very noble cause that this king undertook. And that's what Magha Nakshatra is all about. A lot of country leaders and presidents will probably have this Nakshatra very strong in their chart. So, and if you have this in your chart, then, you do have an interest in your ancestry and wanting to understand where you come from and wanting to make sure that the family name is carried on. That is so important to you. And, very strong leadership ability. You're good at leading people, you're good at inspiring people, and you just have to kind of watch that ego a little bit. So with that being said, that's the story about Magha Nakshatra. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again next time.